All right, I think it's time now. Let us get started. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to Emertxe's course demo webinar. This webinar we've been hosting on a monthly basis. So myself and my colleague Mubeen will be the host for this event. He should be joining in a few minutes, or he's already there. So what we do basically as a part of this monthly webinar, we do two things. One is to basically talk about the job market and what are the trends that we are seeing in the type of job that we are targeting. Primarily, as an electronics or electrical engineering student, you may be aspiring to get into a job, what you guys call it as a core industry, which you call like semiconductor and the devices. So we'll spend some time and understand how the job market, what are the trends, etc. And then we will move on to the course part of it, whatever the course that we are offering, how the course is structured, how the pedagogy and things like that. We'll spend some time on that, and then we'll talk about placements, how the placements works. Right? So those are the three phases of our webinar today. Before that, we'll have a small introduction about our company and things like that. Right. So this is what we do on a monthly basis. So you guys can feel free to ask any questions. I typically stop in a interval and then take some questions. Of course, me and Mubeen are available today. So anytime you have any questions, please put it in the chat window. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak because it's a webinar tool. You can just type it in the chat window or a question, whatever we can call it. The question window you can type. We will take your questions on a regular breaks, and then we will be able to clarify them. Okay, so that's the whole idea. With that note, let me just start with my presentation. Then further we'll take up sections, right? So this is what we talk about: course demo and placement journey. Today is 24th of February. We are hosting this webinar from Bangalore. And just to give an idea about Emertxe, we are an edtech company. We have been in this education field for the past 20 plus years. At a high level, we aspire to solve two problems. One is, as you all know, the employability problem, where fresh engineers are graduating from engineering colleges, but they do not have the necessary employable skills, even though you have a good degree and qualification. And that's where we actually intervene and offer courses in three different technology areas: embedded systems, IoT, and full stack web development. So these courses will make you as a hands-on industry ready engineer and aspire you to get into a core jobs. That's the first work we do. And then in the similar lines, we also offer courses for working professionals and corporate organizations for people who wanted to transition into the core industry. We help them to upskill themselves and place them in these companies. And for the corporate organizations, we primarily train them, for their employees, a customized curriculum, and then we make them build additional skill set and build capability to work on more complex technology areas. So any program we do, we make our education hands-on. That's a picture that you are seeing, with hands making dirty and things like that. Like, you need to make your hands ready to make your learning effective and engaging. So this is our leadership team. Myself, Jayakumar, and Mubeen, my colleague, who is a technology head, who will be joining the call soon. And Mr. Mas is the founder and the managing director of the organization. He leads the company, and also he looks into the business side of the responsibilities. I handle the delivery responsibilities, where I work with a team of mentors, student success counselors, and the placement team, where we, right from the induction of you people into the training program until students get placed. All the three teams work with you, basically the students, and I, manage and oversee the responsibilities. And before I joined Emertxe, I have over 24 years of work experience. In the first 12 years, I worked with corporate organizations like Ishoni Networks, HP, and Huawei, where I led teams build products, made commercial launches, etc. But we are really passionate about education, and that's why after my initial 12 years corporate stint, I joined Emertxe along with Maz and Mubeen, and then subsequently we've been steering our organization forward. As of now, we are about 150 member organization based out of Bangalore. We have different teams. As I said, I look into the delivery side of this, and my colleague Mubeen, who looks into more of the technical side of things, creating more courses, creating the new projects and content, building the capability of the trainers, and then doing research in the new technologies, etc. That's his portfolio. Anyways, I would let him introduce shortly. Okay. And over the years, we have built a strong set of placement companies. These companies pretty much work in almost all the industries that you can think of. In terms of verticals, we have automotive, telecommunication, and networking, and robotics, and consumer electronics, and we also have recently more of electric vehicle companies, defense and aerospace companies. I would say these two are the latest addition, or where we are seeing good growth. So this is a snapshot of the companies. Of course, you can look into our website and the social media to basically get more idea about who are the companies that are hiring, and what type of an offers our students are getting. Pretty much the data is transparent. Okay, whatever that happens, the information, it is available with all the media that we can think of, that we have been doing and following for the ever since our inception. Okay, so as I said, the first section is about the job trends, but before we get into that, we would like to have a small variation today. My colleague Mubeen said he would like to cover his course related details first, then subsequently he told me to take up. Typically I do the first section, then the second section he does, and then third section again I take over. Today, due to some changes, he said, no, you would like to take up the course related details first, and then subsequently we'll talk about my sections, right? I guess he's there. Let me just check once. Mubeen, are you there? I could see him in the room.
Yeah, Jay. I hope
Yeah,
I'm
shall
audible.
I? Yeah, you're audible. Shall I promote you as a presenter?
Yeah, sure.
So go ahead, Mubeen.
So good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's course demo webinar. Um, I'm happy to be part of this webinar session to give an overview about the courses we offer and also to answer any of the queries related to um, your aspirations with respect to becoming an embedded systems or an IoT engineer. So for today's webinar, what I'll be presenting is I'll give an overview about the Emertxe courses which we offer and the pedagogy or the teaching method we follow and why we do that. Briefly, I'll share about the course details as well. Following that, I'll show an overview of how the courses are delivered in the online mode, wherein if you're interested to understand how the online delivery looks like, and if you are basically wanted to have a snapshot of the course classes which are taken, you can have a look at that. And also, I'll play two videos with respect to the C programming module as well as the microcontroller module. Post that, I will also share a quick demo of our learning management portal, which sits as a backbone for the learners as well as mentors and our basically team to help you learn the modules effectively by getting access to the course related resources and practice related information as well as assessment and so on. So I'll touch upon the LMS related features towards the end of my talk. So let me share my screen and show you a brief about what courses we offer and what modules are part of that course first. Again, this is a brief introduction. Hope my screen is visible to you. So at a high level, Emertxe offers two courses. One is embedded systems based course, which is called as ECP, and another one is IoT related course, which we call it as ECIP. So first one is Emerging Certified Embedded Professional. That is what ECIP is all about. And basically, ECIP is IoT based course, which is again a meta course. So who can take up this course? Anybody who's interested to learn about embedded systems and also get a career into embedded systems can take up the ECP course, whereas somebody who's interested into getting a job in the IoT field can opt for the ECIP course. So in embedded systems, we are talking about embedded software development here, not embedded hardware development. So there is also one confusion many of the aspirant have. So this course which we are talking about is embedded system software course. So in this course, we are having several modules, including what is displayed here, Linux systems, C programming, C++, data structures, followed by microcontrollers, Linux internals, and so on. So our idea is that initially we start with teaching the foundations uh, module. All right. So in foundations, we have programming languages. Right. That's what we teach. So when I talk about programming languages in embedded systems, right, we might have heard about the term embedded C, right? So embedded C is covered, then C++ is also covered as a programming language. We'll start with the foundation modules wherein we will start from scratch. C program will be taught in detail, starting with the basics to advanced topics as well as intermediate topics like functions, pointers, bitwise operators, like structures, file IO, and so on. And similarly, other modules are covered like C++, data structures, microcontrollers, etc. Now, this course is structured in such a way that even somebody who does not have a background about programming, does not know about embedded systems, can opt for the course. We'll teach everything from scratch, and every topic is covered in basically not just theoretically. So theory, the concepts will be covered, followed by it will be covered followed by practicals, right? So in practicals, when you say there are multiple things, I'll just touch upon it. So our course is not just concept oriented, it's highly practical oriented. So all these modules will be covered as part of the course. And here in microcontroller module, right, we will be teaching you how to basically interface the peripherals. We'll talk about the architecture of the microcontroller, we'll talk about peripheral programming, right? We also talk about protocols, right? We also talk about other basically aspects like DNA and so on, right? Followed by projects. So every module is covered exhaustively and you'll be doing practical assignments and projects as part of the module. So ECP course consists of the following modules, including Linux internals, embedded Linux and ARM, etc. And if you opt for the offline course, QT module is also included. As part of the IoT course, there is a lot of overlap here. For example, Linux system modules, C programming, C++, etc. is overlapping with ECP. But the major difference is the way we are teaching the microcontroller module. There we will be using either PIC or ARM-based controller, mostly ARM-based controller. Here we use Arduino basically based programming platform, wherein you will be doing programming using ESP32 or Arduino Uno boards. So why Arduino? Because we are focusing on developing end-to-end IoT applications. And for somebody who wants to do interfacing with the sensors, Arduino is something which you can get started with, and you can easily write applications and implement your business logic and also integrate with the cloud easily. Similarly, other modules are also covered as part of ECAP course, including Python programming. So Python is quite a versatile programming language, and it is used in multiple basically domains as well as in multiple areas, including development and testing. So here you'll be learning about Python, and Python can be used in implementing applications related to IoT, especially in the gateway as well as the cloud platform. So we'll teach Python from scratch, which will get used in the other two modules, which is IoT Gateway and Protocol modules. So what is IoT Gateway, by the way? When you talk about IoT, right, it's like you have different use cases, and in industrial use cases or in large scale basically IoT applications, what happens is that there are many devices which is sensing this information. We call this as end nodes, and these end nodes will collect information from the environment or from the devices which it's connected to, and this information needs to be sent to the cloud. So IoT Gateway, what it does is that it is connected to all these devices. It collects all this information and sends the data to the IoT cloud interface via internet, and other basically related topics with respect to IoT gateway and protocol also covered. Like there's a protocol called as MQTT, which is covered as part of the IoT gateway and protocol module. So in the end, we'll be talking about IoT cloud. So wherein when the information is coming from these devices and sensors, they need to be stored and processed. So to store and process, we make use of IoT cloud platforms like AWS or ThinkSboard, and there are several other basic platforms available which can basically collect the information from these sensors. And after collecting this information, you can store it in a database, you can process it, you can analyze it, you can also send notifications, and you can take predictive measure, basically actions based upon the data which is coming. So there also, to some extent, for example, AI will also come into picture here. For example, AI can be used for analyzing the data which you're receiving in the cloud platform, etc. Right? So we'll add some flavor of AI also to it. Now, this is in terms of subjective knowledge which you're going to gain as part of the course. Again, you can download our syllabus from our website. You go to our website, search for the embedded system course syllabus or ECIP course syllabus. You can find all the information about these modules, what projects, which basically topics are covered in detail, as well as the projects we'll be implementing as part of the course. To brief about the project list, we have a huge list of projects which our students can complete as part of the training program. So I'm just sharing a brief list of projects which you can basically do module by module. For example, for advanced fee, you can pick up multiple projects among these, right? Like image technography, MP3 tag reader, address book, source to HTML, exec analyzer, and so on. Likewise, in data structure, there are several projects. Right? In microcontrollers, there are several projects which you can opt and do it. There are some projects which are related to automotive domain. For example, you implement a CAN-based automotive dashboard, wherein, let's say, you want to work on automotive sector, then you have to know how, for example, different ECUs in a car can basically get the information from the sensor and communicate via the CAN bus, etc. So that level of basically knowledge you will gain, and you'll be working on projects which you can showcase in your portfolio. Likewise, for other modules also like Linux internals, right, C++ programming, right, microcontroller program using STM32, RTOS, etc. We'll be assigning multiple projects, and some of the modules are project oriented, wherein we'll explain the project first, and you will be understanding the requirements of the project, like how you will be working in companies. You have to follow something called as a SDLC process. We explain what is SDLC, you understand the requirements, then we work on the design, come up with a design document. After that, you start implementing unit by unit, test the functions, and integrate it, and see whether the functions as well as the integration logic is working. Eventually, test everything to see whether the requirements which you documented is basically implemented as part of the project. So this is what you'll be doing as part of the modules and as part of the course. Yes, it's quite an immersive course, and you would not have experienced this type of basically learning pedagogy in your colleges unless basically you are self-driven and you got an opportunity to work on real projects, right? This will be a very much basically significant jump in terms of pedagogical experience as well as in terms of learning outcome which you are going to gain in our courses. Now, talking about the pedagogy, or you can say teaching approach, right? So on a daily basis, you'll have class and lab, right? So that will be regular, mostly 5 days a week. We'll have class and lab, and some of the Saturdays also will have class or lab sessions. So what is taught in the class? You'll learn about concepts. You'll be developing simple programs and applications. That's what you're going to do as part of the class. So class mentor will explain the topics, and we also encourage you to practice what has been taught in the class itself, right? So that you can apply what are you learning in the class, right? So if you look at our classrooms and if you look at our online teaching approach, right, we explain the concept, and then and there basically we provide an interface wherein you can enter the code in our learning management system, you can type it, you can execute it, you can see the output, right? So we want it to be a very practical oriented approach, unlike how it is taught in colleges maybe or other lectures wherein you learn only the theory part, then later, for example, lab sessions, right? Lab sessions are there. But here, what happened in our class, we are having a blended learning approach wherein it's theory plus practicals combined together, right? So you'll have plus, you'll be working on practicals. Right? Then separately, we'll have, for example, lab sessions. In the lab sessions, primarily what we do is that we are going to work on assignments and projects, right? That's what we're going to do in the lab sessions. So what are assignments? These are like, I would say, smaller tasks, right? Which we'll be completing as part of a module. And you'll have to write some, let's say, 50 or 70 or 100 lines of code to complete that assignment. So assignment will reinforce your conceptual knowledge, right? This is mostly done so that you are reinforcing, right, your conceptual knowledge, right? Plus, what is the assignment going to do? It will help you to basically become proficient in problem solving. So many a time you might have basically, if you attended interviews or if you asked your seniors, right, or if you are basically friends, what happens in interview, you can hear that yes, there will be theoretical questions, but many a time for embedded engineers, right, they will also focus on programming aspect of it. They'll give you a problem statement or a program. Then you have to write the program, maybe in the test or during the interview. And if you complete that program, they say that you are a good problem solver. But eventually, when you land up in a job, what is going to happen? You're going to work on projects which are larger scale. And in projects, you'll come across many situations wherein you face challenging tasks, wherein you may have to resolve a problem related to an existing code. You have to develop a feature. So here in assignments, you're focusing on your problem solving skills and developing small applications as part of small programs as part of that lab section. And we have multiple projects, right, per module, right? So these multiple projects per module, it will ensure that you are getting a bigger picture. So when I say bigger picture, yes, you learned about the concepts, but how do you apply all these concepts on a large scale project? So we'll give you the project requirements and you will try to basically understand the project requirements. That is the initial task, right? It may basically from project to project, the complexity of the project may change. Understanding the requirement itself is the task, right? So we follow a method called as SDLC, right? It stands for Software Development Lifecycle. So we'll explain you the requirements, mentors will explain the requirements, and we share the document with you. You have to understand the requirements, and after that, you come up with the design, can implement the code and test it, right? So like as I showed you, there are multiple projects which you can basically complete as part of the course. So on average, we say, right, you have to do 2 projects per module. That means easily you should be able to 12 projects as part of the course minimum, right? That's the expectation level. And yes, many students do it easily uh, by following basically the teaching methodology which we incur. Now, tests also are conducted, right? So why test? Mostly tests could be in the form of objective questions, or it could be the form of subjective, right? Or it could be in the form of programming test, right? So different types of tests will be scheduled to you for you every module. The subjective questions will check your right conceptual knowledge in a very quick way, wherein you will be given a problem statement. You have to choose the correct answer. It could be related to programming, or like, for example, what is the output of this program, right? Or basically which concept validation type questions will be there. Subject questions is more of descriptive questions. Maybe we'll be asked to explain what is a concept, right? So this type of questions will come in interviews also. And by having an assessment basically framework, what it does is that it validates your knowledge. It helps the mentors to understand where you stand in terms of your performance. Plus, it's going to help you prepare for the interviews, right? So multiple things you're going to achieve if you basically take up the test and if you keep practicing basically tests. Now, one thing is that the technical knowledge which you're going to gain, right? But technical knowledge is not sufficient to for you to crack the interview. Yes, it will help. You can basically very well learn many things. But when you go with the interviews, right, go for the interviews, they'll also check your communication skills. So soft skills, right, which includes your communication and right presentation. skills, right? Also matters. So if you're able to come basically understand things technically, that is very good. But more importantly, if you are not able to explain things what you know, then the interviewer will not get impressed, right? That is first thing. Moreover, soft skills are in general required for you to communicate with your peers in any organization, right? On the long run, soft skill is going to play a very important role to grow ahead in your career. So we conduct soft skill sessions, which will help you to improve your communication, build your confidence. Yes, many people they might not have faced interviews, right? You might not have basically attended your interviews earlier. So we help you to basically improve your communication skills, wherein we conduct soft skill sessions. We also conduct mock interviews, wherein a mentor will be assigned to you, and you have to answer the question as if you're attending a real interview. Right? These are some of the USPs we have in terms of Emertxe, right? When I talk about Emertxe, it is not just about embedded training. It's about our pedagogy. It's about the teaching philosophy and additional things which we offer as part of the course. Now, in terms of, right, eventually, what is the goal, right? You learn many things. Yes, you are able to communicate, but your final goal is to get a job, right? For that, what we do is that we have a dedicated placement team who will work closely with you in helping you basically attend interviews in like grooming you before you attend interviews as well. So what we do is we have a dedicated placement prep sessions wherein we will conduct placement interview prep related sessions will be conducted. Resume workshops will be conducted wherein how to write a resume will be explained to you, right? And other basically workshops will also be conducted in terms of how you should be attending interviews also, right? So our dedicated placement team, their role is to bring in more clients, right? They will basically talk to the companies. In fact, right, we started in the year of 2003. It's been like closer to 23 years. And over this period of 2 decades, we have hundreds of thousands of companies who are associated with us, right? And these clients who hire our students, right, our placement team has been working closely with them, so they know what is required for the client and what type of students are required. And they also know basically what students' capabilities should be. So they'll work closely with client as well as you guys so that you become placement ready. And importantly, apart from having a technical mentor, technical delivery team who's going to teach the concepts, as well as placement team who's going to basically uh, bring in companies and help you in basically attending the interviews. We have a dedicated student success team who will be supporting you on multiple fronts. So student success team, what they do is that they will be interacting with you on an initial stage, maybe after 1 week, within 1 week of your joining, they will meet you, they will orient you about the course which you're offering, and they'll also guide you as to how a student should basically uh, perform throughout the course so that you can achieve your goals. So student success team will be monitoring your performance. They also are open for counseling, right? At times what happens is that you have personal challenges, right? Or you may find difficulties in basically understanding some of the teachings. You can very well get in touch with the counseling team, seek their support, and we are there to help you anytime in not just in technical front, but also extended support as well as counseling. So this is in brief about the courses what we offer and the pedagogy which we use to basically teach, as well as other basically things which you're going to learn as part of the course, which is soft skills and so on. Right? So, you have any questions before I play the course demo videos? Otherwise, I can proceed. All right. So let me play the. Okay. So more about the course, like related information. If we have it towards the end, we'll share it. Now, when we talk about the course demo, let me share the videos quickly so that you can have a look at how the courses are delivered in the online mode. This is going to be a short video session wherein I'm going to play two videos. One is related to C programming, a topic called as arrays covered. One of the mentors is explaining what is an array from the beginning. And second topic will be related to microcontroller module. A moment. I'll turn off my camera and play the audio.
These are the
Video.
total memory allocated. Now, after an array has been declared, maybe I want to give the values into the array, because just the array's declaration will have garbage value. Assume I take int array of size 5. Okay, there has to be 20 bytes of memory allocated. Assume this is the 20 bytes of memory allocated for the array. So I'm storing 5 integers. So each integer takes how many bytes? Each integer takes how many bytes? Correct. So each integer takes 4 bytes. So if the starting address of the array is 1000, where will be the next element present? If the starting address of the array is 1000, where will be the next element present? Assume this is 1000. Where will be the next element present? Yes. Each of the element uses 4 bytes. So it is 1004, then 1008, 1012, 1016. To access the array's element, you have to go with something called as the index number. An index number varies between 0 to size minus 1. So very first element will be in index 0, second element will be in index 1, third element will be in index 2, fourth element will be in index 3, and fifth element will be in index 4. Okay. If you just declare the array like this, the array's element will have garbage value by default. So in order to not have a garbage value present inside the memory block, maybe I want certain values to made sit inside it. In such cases, I have to do the array's initialization. To initialize the array, here inside the curly braces, I have to give 5 elements: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. In that case, that value will be written here. That will be 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, this is how I declare the array. This is how I do the initialization, and this is how the memory for the array will be allocated. Accessing happens with respect to the index number varying between 0 to size minus 1. See here, data type, name, size, where size represents the number of elements. So the total memory occupied by the arrays, number of elements multiplied by size of an element. That is in turn size into size of the data type. If this is the array I'm going to take of 5 size with the values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, this will be the array. So the very starting address of the array always is called as the base address of the array. This address 1000 will always be called as the base address of the array, or you can also call it as starting address or address of the very first element of the array. All of them means the same, but we usually refer it as base address. Okay, You can call it as base address, or you can call it as the starting address, or you also can call it as the address of first element. Okay, the starting address is called as the base address or starting address or address of the first element of the array. So then it is +4, +8, +12, +16. Index has to vary between 0 to size -1. So it has to be starting from 0. An array is a collection of similar data type. Elements occupy consecutive memory locations. First element will be in the lowest address and last element will be in the highest address. Elements are indexed from 0 to size -1. So if the size of the array is 5, index will vary from 0 to 4. Accessing out of the range array elements would be an illegal access. So whenever you have to access the elements of the array, you have to go with the name of the array, then the index number. Okay. So array of 0, array of 1, like this, you have to go with the index number. So if the index number varies between 0 to 4, I can access only between array of 0 to array of 4. Out of the boundary, that is accessing array of -1 or accessing array of 5 is not allowed. It is an illegal access where you might get to see a error. So accessing out of the range array elements would be illegal access. You should not access the elements in array of -1 and array of size. And once the memory for the array is allocated, it can never be altered in the runtime. That is, while executing the program, the array size can never be modified. So if you declare an array like this, it will be 20 bytes of memory allocated for sure. So this size can never be altered throughout the program. Again, here in double denom of size 6, there will be 48 continuous bytes already allocated. You never get a chance to increase or decrease the size once it has been allocated. So this is the concept of array. Clear this much? Okay. So have this one noted. The next we will see is how to print the elements of the array. Okay. So there are different ways of printing the array's element, which we will be seeing shortly. Before that, have this one noted. So the next we have got is to print the array's element. So when you are supposed to print the array's element, we usually go with the name of the array and the index number. But that has to be done on a repetitive manner. So what is it necessary to be used? What is it necessary to be used if I have to print? Yes, loop is definitely necessary. So I can print the array's element in any of a loop considered. Observe. Okay. So first I try printing it in a for loop. Int array of size 5. I also do the initialization with 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. I need another integer variable I for the sake of index. So I will first say it as printf arrays elements are. Okay. So I run a for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than 5 and I plus plus, because 5 is the size of the array. Inside this, I go with the printf. Sorry. Yeah, so printf %d \n comma array's name with index. Okay, so first array of 0 will be printed. When I will have a 0 taken, then array of 1, then array of 2, array of 3, array of 4. When I becomes 5, 5 lesser than 5 will be condition false. You come out of the for loop. Observe the output here. So I'm compiling and executing. These are the arrays element which I am printing using a for loop. Let me change this. I try printing using a while loop.
That was a quick demo of the arrays topic. So the mentor was explaining what is an array and some of the properties of the array was explained. And in the end, a simple program was written how to create an array and how to print an array using a loop. Again, please note that this is a recorded session. Actually, during the session, you can interrupt the mentor and ask doubts, and mentor will be asking more questions with you. It's going to be an interactive mode. So please note this is just a recording, and in the live sessions you can ask questions, you can put the questions, you can even unmute and talk also, and mentor will basically answer your queries as well. Now let me share another video. Again, this is just a video about a microcontroller module, how the microcontroller module is delivered in the online mode. And importantly, in online basically delivery of microcontroller module, people ask this question: how about the hardware, right? So how the hardware related topics are covered and whether you will be using a real board or not. So in the microcontroller module, if you're opting for the online course, you can run the code use on a simulator, right? We'll use something called as a PixSimLab uh, simulator, which helps you to run different basically firmware for different microcontrollers and different boards are supported. So I'll explain that shortly using this video. So you can have a look at the demo video of the microcontroller module.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone. In today's class, let's see how we can write an embedded program to toggle the LEDs connected to the board bit. So now to write the embedded program, we are going to use the tool MPLAB XID. So you can see here. So this is the MPLAB XID. If you open this, you will see this as a starting page. So some projects are mentioned here, data sheet is available here. Even if you worked on some recent project, that list is available. See, and even you will get the microchip login. So if you have a login ID password, you do the login, and you can do the purchase on a microchip website, right? Okay, so now let me go back to the question. So question was, we wanted to toggle the LEDs connected to the port D. So now here in this MPLAB ID, you can see these are the different tools available. So we can use these tools as per the requirement. For example, this is to create a new file. It's to create a new project. It is to open the project. This option is to do the build. You can see different many options are there. So as per the need, what we will do, we will take an approach. Whatever we need it, we will start using those things. Now here in this MPLAB XID, I already created a project and kept it ready. So project name is what? LEDs. So in this project, I created. So when this project is created, this MPLAB XID create some organized sections. You can see here. So now to write this program, to write the embedded code, we need a main.c. So generally .c files goes here in this source file sections. Header files goes here, make file will go here, linker script will go to this section. Or if you need any libraries, if you are planning to add any libraries, then those goes into this section. And finally, this is the place for your executable file. So let me go to the main.c. So you can double click and open the main.c in the editor window. So now you can see I'm defining two micros. So instead of using port D directly, so what I did, since if you see the hardware, on the hardware, so you are having total 16 LEDs. So this is the PiximLab simulator board. So it's having total 16 LEDs. So currently we are going to toggle LEDs connected to the port D. These are the these are the 8 LEDs out of 16. So these 8 LED array we are going to toggle. Toggling means on off we are going to do. So now since I'm having 8 LEDs, I'm defining the micro LED array as a port D, and to give the direction to the port pins there is a register TRISD. I'm defining that with name LED array data direction register. Now you can see here comes my main. So here I'm calling init config function. So this function is to do the initialization. So what we are doing, so in main itself we are not doing initialization. It doesn't look good. So there is a separate dedicated function to do the initialization. It is init config. So control will go here and here in this init config. So initially what we are doing, if we are using LED, we need to set the pin direction as output. So I'm writing my LED array data direction register as a 0. It will set port D pin as the output, and to start with initially I will keep all LEDs connected to the port D as a off. So to turn off the LED I need to load 0. So I'm writing here 0. So LEDs remain off, fine. And here comes our while one. So if you see any embedded system, once you turn on the embedded system, it runs forever, right? It goes into infinite loop. So here come my infinite loop while one. So inside this while one, we are going to write our application. So what is our application? We wanted to toggle the LED. So here is my instruction to toggle the LED. So I'm writing LED array equal to tilt of LED array. So what it will do, it will toggle the values of this LED array. If it is 0, it will make it 1. If it is 1, it will make it 0. So now you can see. So this is what 0x00. So after execution of this instruction, this LED array value becomes 0xFF. So entire port becomes 0xFF. All port bits become 1. So all LED turn on. LEDs are going to be turned on. And here what I'm doing, so before going to this instruction once again, I'm putting the delay. So if this delay is not there, what happens? We will not be able to see the LED toggling. So it will happen at very faster rate. Due to the persistence of vision, we will not be able to capture it. So I added the delay. Then after this delay, what happened? Next time, since we are in the while one, control will go back here. So again, we are changing the LED array value from what? FF to 0. So now what happened? LED become off, then again delay. So like this way, we are making LEDs on, LEDs off. Fine. Now. So we have to build the code. We have to compile the code. How we can do? So here in this mplab xid, I install x8 compiler. So that's why this header file is also included related to the compiler. So now how you can do the build? So you can see here is one option to do the build. So let me click on that. It will start doing build. My project is getting a build. Now you can see build is going on. So it will take some time. Please wait. Now see, build is successful. That means your hex file is created, and even it will give you the memory summary of your project. So now my hex file is created and it is loaded also. Now what we can do, so we can load that hex file where in this board. So we can run that hex file here in this microcontroller. So this is the heart of this board. So basically here we are using PIC16F877A microcontroller. So we are going to load the hex file here. How? So you can go to the file, you can select the load hex. You have to navigate wherever your project is stored. So let me navigate. So now, just for the sake of simplicity, I kept the project on the desktop. So let me select that. Now again, you have to go to the distribute directory. So basically, you have to use this path. After build successful, it is prompting the path where X file is available. I'm just referring that. Then you have to go to the default production. Here is the X file. Let me open. Okay, expected output is what? These LEDs should toggle, but it's not happening. Why? Because these DIP switch related settings are not done. So to turn on the LEDs connected to the port D, this DIP switch, second one, you have to pull this switch up. So let me do that. So it's down, you have to pull it up. So let me select. Now you can see the change here. So what this program is doing, it's running in this microcontroller and it is toggling the LEDs, and even we are able to see that toggling very clearly, right? Okay, so this is our program, our embedded code to toggle the LEDs connected to the port D. Fine.
So I hope you got idea about the course demo, how courses, how it's delivered in the online mode. And if you look at the second video, it was mostly focused on explaining a simple example of how to toggle an LED. So in fact, we are using a PIC-based microcontroller, and we're using an ID called as MPLAB ID, and the instructor is explaining how to write a code in an ID and how to run the application using a simulator called as PICSimLab, which is open source. So those who opt for the online mode, it's not necessary that you have to purchase a board. If you want, you can do it, but you can very well test it on a simulator wherein the program will work on a real hardware also without doing any change, except by changing some pin configurations, right? So so you will be either opting for the online course or offline course. In the offline mode, you will be working on a real hardware, and we can very well run the same program on a hardware and visualize the output as well, right? So there is no much difference in the way you're going to write a program if you're using a simulator or you're going to use a real hardware board. Now I think we have some questions posted by some of the attendees. Let me just have a look at it. So will the course be different for working professionals? So working professionals also, we have a similar program, and we deliver the course in the evening time, wherein if you are like already working and you want to take up the course, you can very well attend the course in the evening time. More details will be shared by Jayakumar shortly. So Sriram is asking, I'm curious, will there be a session about DTS, DTB in most of the interviews? So yeah, Sriram, I think you're talking about device trees, etc. We may not cover about DTBs and DTS in depth. In fact, it is part of a separate module which is related to kernel driver development. But as part of a regular modules, right, this device tree concept is not included. Okay. All right. Any more questions? Please feel free to post. Welcome, Sriram. Samir asking, what are the daily class timings for the embedded system course for offline? I will share the details. Actually, the next slides with respect to the courses in detail will be discussing about that. Let me share you a quick overview about our learning management system. Give me a moment. So what I'll do is I will show you the portal which students can access. Once you're enrolled for it, you can see what you can get access to as well. So here if you see, when you're enrolled for a course, you get access to a learning management portal, Emertxe's learning management portal, wherein all the modules which are part of the course will be accessible to you. Right? If you see here, you can see the modules C programming, C++, data structures, right, Linux internals, Linux systems, microcontroller, etc. And if you look at a specific course here, right? So you can see that there is multiple resources available, right? In the form of assignments, attendance will be taken, then quizzes and other resources, as well as virtual programming lab. So primarily it will contain access to slides. If you see here, there is slides available for every module, which will be used by the mentors, as well as you can use it for understanding the concepts, right? So as you see here, we're teaching from basics like number systems, right? So somebody does not know programming. If you're a fresher, for example, don't have a background, you can very well basically have a look at the basics of number systems, and slowly we'll move into more basically important topics, right? So bitwise operators, etc. is covered. So it's a very detailed, basically resources are available where you can revise the concepts as well. So apart from slides, give resources like articles which you can read, and template codes also, right? Source code also will be provided where you can download the source code and practice those programs. And here itself we can practice basically programs. We have something called as a virtual programming lab, wherein you can complete the programs inside the browser itself, right? You can write the code, you can execute the code, you can see the output as well. So that is nothing but a virtual programming lab environment will be provided. And these programs you can practice without installing any software on your system. So multiple basically programs will be given, and this will also help you like to attend test like using platforms like HackerRank, etc. Wherein during the interview they'll be giving during the test or interview they'll be giving a program. You have to write the program and check whether the program is working by using some set of predefined test cases. So this environment, which we call it as virtual programming lab, is going to be similar like HackerRank, etc., wherein you can write the code, you can text it and execute it, and automatically you'll get a grade, right? That is how interviews also happen. So apart from the virtual programming lab wherein you can do your assignments, you can also submit the projects, right, etc. Here you can also see that we are also providing access to recorded sessions if opted for the online course. You can see class recordings will be given to you, day-wise recording is given. Again, this is an older course which I'm showing. Each topic you will find a video recording of the session if it opted for the online course. For offline, we are not going to provide any. We will not be able to provide recordings of the live sessions. Similarly, you have lab-related recorded sessions also. Here you can see class also is there, and separately you have lab recordings also, wherein assignments are explained, doubt clearing sessions are there, right? You can also see, right, projects are also explained here, right? Multiple sessions will be covered for projects as well as assignments. So you'll also get access to quizzes, right? You can see quizzes, multiple quizzes are there. You can take up these quizzes so that you can test your knowledge, as well as you can also prepare for interviews. So this is in brief what the LMS is going to provide. Again, for other courses also we have similar basically information available in the course. For example, if you take microcontroller module, you'll find similar information here, right, to get access to all the assignments, all the PDFs, etc. Right, programs, templates, everything you'll get. And you'll also have something called as a dashboard to your learning insights, wherein you can also see where you stand in terms of your performance, right? So you can see, right, this particular student, how many courses they're enrolled to, right, what is going well, what needs attention, right, how many things are overdue, etc., what is the attendance and so on, right? For example, you'll also see what is the trend, right, how is the course going and things like that. So if you're performing well, the trend will be good. You can see all the performance related information for your courses which you opted for. All right, so that's it from my side. If any questions related to what topics I covered, feel free to ask. So we have some questions in the chat box. Let me try to pick what is relevant. Okay, so offline weekend course. Let me just check. Yeah. What are the daily class timings? I think we'll discuss that shortly. I think will the bootloader programming be covered here? I'm not sure what you mean by bootloader programming. Are you talking about U-boot, etc.? So U-boot, etc. will be covered, but programming bootloader from scratch will not be covered. You're not going to write a bootloader from scratch, but bootloader will be covered as part of the embedded Linux and ARM module. Will the OS concepts such as scheduling, multi-threading process, yeah, this will be covered in detail. Ostram. Operating system, Linux internals is a module which talks about operating system. We'll cover about scheduling, multi-threading process, IPC, networking, and socket programming. So Nadesh is asking, I joined late, will I get a recording of this session? Yes, you'll get recording of this session, Nadesh. I think Jay, you can continue now. Yeah, welcome Nadesh.
Yeah, all right, Mubeen.
Yeah, I think Sriram has having one question. I'm little late to the meeting. What about protocols? Yeah, protocols, I2C, CAN, all these protocols will also be covered as part of the course. Yeah.
Are you done, Mubeen? Shall I take over?
And then you can continue. Yeah. So thank you everyone for this session, and Jayakumar will be continuing with the remaining session for today.
Thank you, Mubeen. Thanks for sharing details. As I said, this month around we just rearranged the topic. So as you can see, right, Mubeen primarily spoke about the course delivery, code pedagogy, assignments, projects, performance, etc. Hope you got a view about how your learning journey is going to be. So now what I will do is I will cover the remaining two parts. So one being the job market. I guess there's already a question has come about how AI is going to impact and things like that. So we'll talk about the job market trends and what we are hearing from our hiring companies. We talk to them on a daily basis, right? And also we talk about placements and certification. And towards the end, we'll also discuss about the course dates, when we are expecting to start the course for this particular month. Okay, so let me share my screen. So hope my screen is visible to all of you. Just confirm once so that I can proceed. Hope it's visible. I shared my screen. Yeah, thank you, Sunil. I think I'll get going. Yeah, thank you, Arul Arasi. Right. So this is one of the important thing that all of should understand about what exactly happening. If you look at broadly, we see four things happening in the job market. So one definitely is a big elephant in the room is artificial intelligence. It is bringing in transformative changes, whereas there is a lot of real things that are happening. There is a lot of hype that is happening. Right? We really don't know what to believe and what not to believe. That's one definite trend. And second thing is geopolitics. You see that countries' trade policies, right, the tariffs, etc., changing it on a very frequent basis. We do not know, how the trade policies is going to change. Why it's important for us to keep these things into perspective, because these things do affect the job market. These things do affect your placements, right? That's why we are bringing this webinar. On the other hand, you're also hearing words like global capacity centers or GCC, where companies who want to do relatively deeper R&D work, right? They're establishing their India centers, and a more complex nature of work is moving towards Indian centers. And last but not the least, there is also the India semiconductor story, where India is, destined, basically working towards the semiconductor revolution, where the manufacturing of the electronics components are getting, more and more prominent. And not only that, there is also a huge domestic need, primarily, as I mentioned in the initial thing, in the placement client, we see there is upward mobility in terms of the defense and aerospace companies and EV companies, etc. So there is definitely a domestic need that are basically, happening here. So these are all broadly the four trends that we see in the job market today. So if you look at today, like what if you see the AI, I just thought I will give this analogy and we'll be able to explain. For example, if you look at the typical IT services companies, or for example any of the companies doing work out of India, so what they've been doing so far is basically doing any one of these activities. Suppose you want to make a shirt, right? They may not make the entire shirt from India. They may be doing fabric cutting, stitching, finishing, pressing, packaging, maintenance, etc., right? So they were actually working on some portion of the activity here in India, in the Indian centers, right? Now that is changing, okay, where the ownership from the India Development Center is changing dramatically in the recent days. That's also one of the reasons where we see, when it comes to the entry level hiring, where our placement companies, when we talk to, right, their expectations also has gone up, because the complexity of the work has increased. Okay, so this is one high level trend all of us should understand. Okay, so mapping with the job market, if you see the so far the IT industry, right, where they were doing the mass scale hiring, and the entry barrier was less. As long as you are doing some engineering degree, they'll hire you, especially from a tier 2, tier 3 engineering college. They'll put up a kind of a factory model of training, where they give a 3 months training and you are kind of ready to do a job. And the main goal was to leverage the cost advantage. For example, instead of hiring one engineer in the US, right, can you hire n engineers in India? That n can be 4, 5, 10, right, depending on the work that you do. Okay, so this pretty much all of us need to come to the reality that this has dramatically changed. Okay? In fact, a lot of those lower end barrier activities are where the AI tools, right? In fact, as Mubeen was speaking, I was just reading some of the news feeds which I get, right? Every time any new AI model is getting developed and it is being deployed, earlier it was DeepSeek, then it became ChatGPT, then it became Gemini, now we talk about Claude, right? Anytime some of these changes coming in, it is actually affecting a lot of companies, right? Especially when you're doing from a technology company, if you're doing a low end job, right, definitely those low end jobs are getting replaced with any of these AI tools or AI products that we spoke about. On the contrary, okay, what we are actually targeting is that going for a specific skill based hiring. Relatively the entry barrier is higher, and we are targeting companies which are working in semiconductor products, right, who are mainly driven by the innovation, and they're not just banking upon the cost, whereas the value that they're bringing to the customers. Okay, hope you're able to see the difference. If you see the AI is largely replacing, or even geopolitics are there, and then if you look at GCC and India phenomena, is on the right side, right? If you see here, this is where the job loss is happening, because the AI is replacing the manual efforts. On the contrary, when you look at the specific jobs that we're looking at, when you say, for example, specific jobs, suppose you're writing somebody spoke about the OAS, bootloader, etc. Right? Today, the AI has not reached a pace where you can generate and customize a bootloader for a particular hardware, right? Because every source code that you're writing, right, it has to be customized for a particular hardware. So that kind of a customization AI is not able to achieve so far. As far as embedded system jobs are concerned, it's going to be quite challenging. Rather, AI is seen more as a productivity tool, where they are accelerating the development for sure, and the number of openings, especially the mass scale hiring, has significantly come down. On the contrary, the positive news is that since we are on the right side, because we are betting on the GCCs and the Indian semiconductor revolution, right, we see that there are jobs. There are good number of companies which keep hiring from us. I'll just show the statistic shortly, where these companies time to time and again they come back and tell us that they do have good amount of work needs to be done, but they're not getting the right set of engineers. When I say right set of engineers, it's not a mass scale number of engineers where companies want to hire few thousands of engineering graduates. No, but whatever they're hiring, they want to ensure that the skill levels are high. Okay, that's a a difference you need to understand, because you're not targeting a traditional IT type of a job here. Okay. So these are some of the data to back it up. The growth of global capability centers. Some of the numbers you can see there. We're seeing not only Bangalore, there are a lot of other cities, definitely Hyderabad, a lot of tier 2 cities where we see this GCC phenomena is happening, where companies are growing quite well. And also, if you look at the Indian semiconductor dashboard, I think in the last webinar I marked some of these. You can see the markers in the red, in the red color, where we are seeing there is a lot of traction coming from the areas like, for example, aerospace and defense, right, and also automotive. Right? If you look at two-wheeler, four-wheeler, even that four-wheeler, right, in companies like Mahindra and Tata's, they're doing a lot of innovation. Okay, there are a lot of electronics that has come, not only in the EV, even your traditional two-wheeler and four-wheeler, right? So what is happening is it is driving a lot of jobs downwards. For example, Tata, right? They want to get certain R&D done from somebody, right? And they will actually, want to hire some entry-level engineers who build the infotainment system, automated, the ADAS, or the decision-making systems, and then various security and safety features that you're bringing into the car, and then integrating with the app, etc., etc. Right? So what I wanted to show, the idea of sharing these things is to share you certain messages. Definitely the bulk hiring from the large services company like TCS, it is actually changing forever. I don't think that the trend is going to return anytime soon. Okay. So because of the low-end IT jobs, or which can be done by a tool, or some of the work is not moving to India, definitely there's a huge challenge there. And the campus placement, coming to you guys, the volume-based hiring is giving way to skill-based selection, the target jobs which we are talking about. Right? So GCCs and domestic product companies are now taking the center stage, where we are seeing a lot of openings coming from them. And they expect graduates to own complex module and contribute to end-to-end development. It is no longer the breadth, right? It is take one area and go deep. Rather, I tell my team members, right, inch wide and mile deep. You don't know something about everything, right? You know something, but know that in deep, right? Go in deep. And then India-based companies or teams are not just service components; they're actually building the complete products, right? So the idea is we need to adapt to this change, no matter what we say, and also we need to see to it that in the webinars, right, we need to see to it that what is there in our control. We cannot say how a politician might make a decision or some trade policy will change, right? Every day we see in the news it's changing rapidly. I don't want to take names here. You guys know, whom I'm talking about, which countries I'm talking about, right? So those things are beyond our control. But what we believe is to control parameters, right, which you can do or we can do as a team Emertxe. That is what the focus here, right? As long as what Mubeen has explained, the skill sets and building depth, getting into the real hands-on aspects, right? Definitely job opportunities are there for the students. Okay? There is no denial about it. Okay? So this is some of the statistics which we want to show. For example, last year in 2025. This is how the placement companies. This is all the month-on-month placement data, which is with the companies which has visited Emertxe, right? And this year, we have done 58 companies in the month of January, and in February we are 41. I think we have another week to go. So what I'm saying is these, on an average, if you look at, we get around 60 plus companies. Sorry. 60 plus companies coming every day. If you divide it by 21 day working day, right, on an average 2 companies, 3 companies come on a daily basis. That's a placement of companies. Probably towards the end of this presentation, right, when you talk about the placement trends, right, we'll also show you the Google groups where we showcase basically the number of companies visiting in every month, right? We can just walk through what type of companies have come, right? So this is some of the thing that we need to understand. Now, it is not only that these companies are coming up, right? There is also a lot of success stories. Typically I use our, I use our social media page to showcase this. I know you guys might have seen that, but in the interest of the webinar, right? Let me just open our, social media page. Let me open our Emertxe Instagram page where you can see the data there. So if you see the success stories, actually they come from different types. When I say different types, we have students who are fresh graduates. they actually joined us in their final year itself. In fact, we are seeing a very good move from VTU, where they're promoting students to go for a minimum 4-month internship. We are an affiliated institute with VTU, where we had good number of students joining in the month of January. Also, we see that students who are from an older era pass out, are they at a hurry career break, right? So they're also getting into our ecosystem, skilling themselves, and basically they're able to build a career in the core domain. Okay? You can see a lot of examples here, but some of the things that you can see in the recent ones, in terms of Qualcomm coming in hiring students, I guess last month, right? And similarly, we also see that companies like LG, who continue to hire our students on a regular basis. I guess last week or so we had 8 students who got placed, right? And then similarly, if you look at students who are from a fresh engineers, right? For example, from a campus to a corporate journey, you can see students like Malvika, Pranav, right, Deepak. So these type of students are more of a fresh graduates who are just completed their engineering in 2025. They are getting into some of these organizations, whatever we have shown here, right? This is one set of success stories. And we also see that people who are basically coming in their coming working professionals who are working already, having some experience, and then subsequently they are able to achieve their career transition. For example, you can see here which company came every week. This data is also published quite openly, and you can also go in our website. I'm just going just walking through some of the pointers so that you are able to basically relate to what we are talking about, right? And these chaps, they came in the final year only, so that they're able to basically achieve their, by the time they complete their engineering, they're way ahead of their friends in terms of the competition, and they're able to achieve their placements, right? So like that, you can see a lot of success stories coming in. You can see the career switch, what we're talking about, the career transition. They're working as something, but they wanted basically a better role, so they are able to achieve. You can see from left side to right side, these people are all the ones who are already working, and they're able to achieve this career transition. Right? You can see this. Right? So like that, we see career success stories. Students coming from year break, they had some year break or year gap due to many reasons, health reasons, personal reasons. They are also able to achieve, because when I review the placement company data, every day we go through this, right? I'm seeing almost like, just in my notes itself, I'm seeing that almost like 50% of the companies, or half of the companies which you spoke about, they really don't care about era password or percentage, right? You can be from any era password, or you can be from any percentage. In fact, today, if you see, today I was just reviewing before the webinar. Today my team was showing me the list of companies, like 6 companies have come today, where I was reviewing. Basically, in that 6, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So 4 of them are telling you can be from any era password or any CGPA percentage. Okay? This is important for you to understand, because when companies come to recruit our students, right, they will not look for these era password or percentage. They largely look for the skills. So that's what I told in the beginning. It's not about generic skill sets, right? You are trying to basically understand something small, but understand something about many things. Rather, taking one area and going to a deep, is what basically today's jobs are all about. Okay, so this is the high level job market thing, and in the embedded systems industry, because of AI, we are not seeing any major what you call as a job loss or something happening. You might have heard that a semiconductor company is laying off people, or a core product company is laying off people. It has not reached that way, because it's not easy for any AI tool to automate what we are speaking about. And that is one definite point all of you can take from this webinar. On the other hand, is also a demand coming up. Right? It is not like a traditional software where things can go up very fast and go down very fast, because they're all hardware driven. They're all manufacturing driven. As long as robust pipelines are there for companies. For example, I was talking about defense, right? Almost all the defense companies are having very healthy pipeline orders lined up, right? So definitely, when they wanted to build the Ministry of Defense, or any of these companies, right, any of this ministry, they actually partner with a lot of companies. In fact, last month also I was in conversation with a company where they're building a data logger systems which gets into the the war helicopters and things like that, right? Like that, there are a lot of products that are coming up. the sector is, I would say that in spite of whatever you are hearing in the media, it's more of a negative, and looks like engineers don't have jobs and things like that. Yes, engineers don't have the jobs provided you are targeting a generic job. But you take a focused domain like embedded systems and build a deep skills, and build a good number of projects. For example, some of the students whom I was showing in the Qualcomm selections, or anybody who has achieved up and about 8 lakhs kind of a salary, if you go back and look into the resume, right, they would have built, let us say, 12 project, 14 project as a part of our course. And that is the reason why they're able to achieve that much amount of placements, right? It's not like we can go and recommend some student. That way I'll recommend all our students, right? I want all our students to be placed immediately, but that's not the idea. But definitely the expectations have gone up. But if you're a person who are keen to learn and you are curious to see how the hardware software combination works, etc., so definitely this is something which you need to look for. Okay, so this is what I typically cover in the first phase. Then Mubeen takes over. But as I said, today we have jumbled up a little bit, reordered up, our line of thing. So I would like to pause here and check any questions are there. Yeah. Saujanya is asking the questions. Our course is completed. If not, job means can we attend placements? Yes, Saujanya. I think I will talk about it in the placement section, the next section. But anyways, I'll answer your question that way. My presentation also get covered, right? So what happens in our course is that the moment our students, right, basically join, once they complete the data structures module, that is roughly after the 4th month, you go through placement eligibility test. Once you clear that, you can start applying for placements, right? Mubeen was talking about test, right? That is one thing. And once you complete the course, from the time you complete the course, you will get placement support from us for 2 years. Let me repeat, from the time you complete the course up to 2 years, right, we will be giving you the placement support. Let us say some student is completing by the end of February 2026, right? He will get a placement support till February 2028. So that way you don't need to worry about course completion. In fact, I tell my students also, course completions means nothing. Yes, you completed a course, you completed a milestone, but your journey goes beyond that, building the skills, right? Continue to build on projects, continue to build on the hacker rank or lead code, what Mubeen has called out in his, right? Those things are very important. As long as you do that, definitely, students are able to achieve those placements, right? Hope that's clear. Saujanya. Fee structure, Saujanya, I would suggest you talk to a team of counselors. They will be the right people to guide you. A few more slides are there. I will put up the number of our counseling team. You can talk to them. They'll be able to clarify. Okay. Offline weekend courses available for working professionals. RWC, no. Our working professionals, earlier it was, I would say earlier means it was somewhere around maybe 2016-17, we used to do the weekend courses, but nowadays we converted into an online evening course. So post 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock is where the class happens. That is where we see working people coming in participating, right? So Sri Lalita is asking how many months is a course? Say it's a planned is 6 months. Sri Lalita, our course duration. Okay. Yeah, this is a good question, right? I think you guys are coming to the same direction, Sri Lalita and Hanumesh, right? I know where this is coming from. Let me answer you guys, right? So one complaint generally, I would say you hear from the students is, sir, they say it's a 6 months, but course takes, let us say 7 months, 8 months, right? That is something which you will hear from that, right? Which is a fact actually, right? So let me, clarify what we talk about here, right? See, this 6 months, in fact, as I was also doing some analysis around that as Mubeen was speaking, right? I was doing my work. See, important thing here to understand here is, if you want us to complete the course in 6 months, yes, we can, like a semester, right? Day start, day end. Can we complete? We can absolutely complete, no problem. In fact, we are running some special programs where we made even the 6 months into 5 months or 4.5 months. That is also possible, right? But our idea from the beginning, in fact, this concern is being with us for more than 20 years, I would say, right? Our idea is not to run the course like a semester. Right? Semester, right? College, there'll be a start date, there'll be end date, they'll run through that syllabus, right? That way we don't want to run. Our idea is not to run it as a semester. Our idea is to ensure that you guys learn. So what happens is, the speed is not proportional to the mentor, speed is proportional to the student. For example, if there is additional soft skill sessions are conducted, right? And let us say some monthly placement activities are done, and say mentors are finding that students have not completed the project what they're supposed to submit, right? We give additional time for you to complete the course. So because of these reasons, we see that the course duration, what do you call, takes more time. Okay. And there's a question from D. Roy Sagoy. I don't know whether you're pronouncing my name right. Can job placement to be done outside India? No, not yet. I don't know which country you are from. Maybe you can just, curious to know, you can put it in the chat window. Currently, we are only targeting jobs inside India only. Okay. D. Roy Sagwe, I don't know whether you're pronouncing it right. I would like to know which country you are joining from webinar, in this webinar. Right? All right. So, yeah, I think, yeah, fee structure. Okay. Yeah, I think Darshan, I clarified the duration part, right? Okay. All right. Okay. I think all the questions I've answered. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there is also a question from Narahari. Could you please tell me the course fee for the online? As I said, all the fees, even Shaikh Azmir is also asking. Our counselors are the right people to answer that. I'll share the number shortly. Okay. So you can talk to them, email them, talk to them, chat with them. They'll be able to clarify. Okay. So hope that's fine. Let me just move on to the placement part. Then you guys can continue to ask me more questions. We will take up one by one. Okay. So let me go to the placement part. The placement part I already answered, but still let me just course part Mubeen has covered, so I'll skip that section, modules, everything. Yeah. So we'll go to the placement part now. Okay, hope this is visible my screen. My screen is visible to all. Yeah. One minute, let me just share. Yeah. So let me share and continue. If you keep typing all your questions, really appreciate all the questions. Right. Yeah. So placement process, as I said, once you join, we'll enroll into a Google group. I'll shortly show you the Google group also, how it works. It's a very simple process that we have. Then you can check and apply for placements, and then subsequently our team will do the internal filtering and then share it with the companies. And then company will shortlist and they will notify you. Subsequently, written test and interviews will happen. Then the offer release and then onboarding happens, right? So these, as you move towards the placements, our placement team and the student success team will closely work with you. They create a lot of WhatsApp groups, and then they primarily work very closely with the students and ensure that students are given the right set of support and information until you go and report for the day one. Our team will support you. And kindly note, right, the companies you're recruiting, they expect you to join immediately. It's not like they give a longer time. Of course, if you're a working professional, you can serve a notice period with the current company. They will wait and then you can go and join the company. This is about the placement process. Yeah, so let me just show you guys a Google group so that you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So let me just go to groups. See, yeah. So this is our Google group. You can see here. So today Monday, right? So Tuesday, you can see here from the morning, right? Toshiba, LMD High Tech. As I was telling, right? You can see somebody got placed, right? HL Claimo came in the evening, right? You can see here. So many mails are there. HP was there last week, right? People Tech Group was there last week. So this is like, whatever I was mentioning in the graph, right? You can see the live screening. Kindly note, this group is only available for our students, right? So this is an example. For example, if you, let's say HL Claimo, which got floated, it's like a Korea-based automotive company. They do quite a good work in the automotive segment. It just says, what is the module, what is the era password. They can say, right? They are a little bit particular, right? 20, 25 and 70%. But as I said, around 50% don't care. And then what is the salary, right? It's a Bangalore-based role, work from office, right? And then they're given a time. You can see here, tomorrow 10 o'clock is the deadline. Okay. So that our students will need to apply. Okay. So this is about the example of one of the applications. Like that, you can keep on seeing a lot of examples here. Okay. Right. Some of the FAQs, I think some questions already come. Till how long I get a support? I already mentioned it's for 2 years. Can I choose between two job offer? No. Basically, the moment you get one offer, we'll stop you immediately, and then you need to join that company only. Of course, before you apply, you have the choice whether you wanted to apply or not. But once you apply, you get selected, you need to go, because we commit 100% joining rate for the recruiting companies. And also, right, for us also, one student getting placed means, right, definitely the next opportunity will get to the other student. We want to be fair among our students also. Should I apply to all companies? No, it's your wish. We're not going to push you. What type of companies are hiring? I already showed you an example, right? We have, you can divide companies based on multiple categories. One category could be the verticals: automotive, robotics, networking, consumer electronics, etc. That's one way to look at. Other way to look at the size of the company, whether the startup, mid-size, right? India-based service companies where they have an embedded division, right? And also we have the MNCs which are hiring. So all possible permutation combination companies are hiring. I just showed you the Google group, right? I'm having a year gap. Will it affect the placements? Already answer is no. As long as you have the skill set, this will not be a problem at all. I think for working professionals, you can serve the notice period and then join. Okay. So these are all the, basically the, placement related things. And also you might have heard that our institution is affiliated with, Skill India, or the, National Skill Development Corporation, where students, after you graduate, after you complete your, just a minute, let me just pull it up for you guys. After you graduate our course, right, you also have an opportunity to apply for Government of India's certification. You can just see here, right? It is an example where you need to apply for a, you need to apply for that, and then that also application also will be, put into the, same Google group. And then once you clear, because the assessors will come from the Skill India, or we work with ESSCA, or Electronic Skill Sector Council of India. They will come and assess you, and once you clear the assessment, you will get the certification. And the Government of India level 5 certification. Only very few institutions in India are doing this kind of a level 5 certification. Okay, so this is additional advantage, but I always tell my students, don't go by this additional benefit we are giving. But our core is to you learn well, because this is not going to affect placements. It's, when you're going for higher studies, or when you're in between jobs, these things might help you. But for placements, whatever we discussed, right, ensuring that you do your projects and all your assignments, that is going to be the most important thing. Okay. Now coming to the course dates, these are the dates for the month of February. February 26th, we have an offline course. 27th, we have an online course, and then March 3rd, we have the online evening course. Those are the dates. And many of you asked about the fees, etc. You can get in touch with our team of counselors. Email ID is training@emertxe.com, and the phone number is also given. It's a common email ID and common phone number. You can reach out to them definitely. They'll share you the fee and other details. Okay. And in terms of our location, we are based out of Bangalore, of course, right in MG Road. I'm actually taking this call from office only. I'm sitting in our MG Road office, right next to the metro station, walkable from there. We have two centers here, one this side of the metro station, one is the other side. Both are 300, 400 meters walkable distance. So these are all our Instagram and LinkedIn pages. I just already showed our Instagram page. In LinkedIn also, we do post valuable contents, placement updates, etc. Like they always say, right? They say like, share, and subscribe, or like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Okay. So that's pretty much what we had for today's webinar. I think we covered a broad set of topics, right from the job market trends. We moved on to the course details, where Mubeen covered in detail about what is happening in how exactly the course is going to be structured, and I walked about the placement part also, right? There's a question from Prachi. What is session time for offline mode? See, offline mode batches, it depends on the batch, Prachi. It starts as early as 7:30 in the morning. It's like a 4-hour of slot we are giving, right? 7:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 3:30, like that. So depending on where the seats are available, you will be allocated them. Okay. Whereas online batch is also similar. Only online evening, the timings are fixed. Rest all we have multiple. schedules, multiple batches running on a daily basis. Okay. Okay. D-Roy is telling he's from South Korea. Okay. Nice to know that. We keep watching a lot of K-pop and what is that, K drama. I guess it's very famous in India. Many of our students also may be able to do that, right? Good to know that, D-Ray. Okay, that you're from South Korea. But unfortunately, we cannot support you with your placements outside India. Okay. So that's pretty much what we had. Any questions, any clarifications? Hope it has given a good perspective about the job market, our course, and how you can position yourself, especially in these challenging times of AI and geopolitics, right? But as I said, the equally positive news is coming from the GCCs and the India semiconductor story, which we need to take benefit of. Okay. Can you share offline timings in detail? Keshav, what I was telling is, right, it starts from 7:30 in the morning. We have 4 hours per batch, 7:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to I think 3:30, 3 o'clock to 6:30, something like that. There are 4 like that. It is slotted. Per day, there are 3 slots are there. Depending on wherever seats are available, our team will allocate you. Course fee, Shaikh, as I already told, please talk to our team of counselors. They will be able to clarify the fees. Any other questions? Hope it's clear to all of you. Any other questions, guys? Okay, Durga Prasad is giving me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for all of you joining in. And this is the last silver bullet I say before I leave every webinar. In fact, you get to go and look at the older webinar also, right? Our idea, me and Mubeen, what we are trying to do is give a perspective about the industry and about our course. Right? How we want to showcase that, how doing our course, you can get a potential career in such a upcoming domain, right? But definitely you are the decision maker for your career. Okay? You need to look into what you are really interested in, and please take the right decision for your career, right? And then you will definitely achieve success. Right? So Mohammed is asking, Mohammed Wajid, can you tell me which is better, online or offline? It depends on you, Wajid. It purely depends on the student. Our approach is to deliver the same content with the same quality. Mentors are available, but it's about how the students are taking it. Okay. Are the classes continuous or will be there any break in between? I don't know what you mean by break. It means, okay, you're talking about 4 hours soon. Okay, yeah, we'll give a small short break, maybe between the class and lab, maybe 5-10 minutes, right? Or sometimes we need to give a break or something, 7:30 when you start, right? Yeah, we do give a small break, but not a 4 hours at a stretch. That is hard, right? Okay. Yuvaraj is asking, what is the average salary we can expect for embedded engineers? It depends on the company, Yuvaraj. It starts, anywhere around 3 lakhs, all the way goes up to 20 lakhs, right? Roughly in that number. But on an average, I would say around 4.5 lakhs is what you can expect if you take an average of all the companies. But yeah, it depends on your skill set and things. But these are all broad numbers which you can see. Okay. Anyways, once you get an access, you yourself can go and do analysis of all the CTCs, right? You can figure it out. Offline course ending time, I think I already clarified. It's a 4 hours slots per day. Okay. Janardhan asks, how many students allocated in one session of our offline class? Around 40 to 40, maximum we go around 50. That's a typical classroom. Whatever we can allocate in the classroom, we'll allocate like that. Fee structure, I mentioned, talk to our counselors. Okay. In online mode, can you get recorded lectures? Yes, in online mode, all the classes will be recorded and put into the LMS, which Mubeen has shown you already a demo. After the class, you'll be able to access the demo lecture also. Are you providing any internship, Srilalitha? Srilalitha, the word internship is quite confusing these days, but let me clarify. Okay, we offer 2 types of internship. One is a free internship, and is a paid internship. Right? When it's a free internship, people who just want to get a basic idea of embedded system, we offer that for students. It's about a month or so, where you get a basic exposure and build some project. That is mainly to give you a exposure and give you a confidence that you can indeed do something useful in a month, right? That is about that. And as I said, BTU recently they have mandated a 4-month internship for the engineering students, where they want to learn and build some projects. So that's a paid internship where you need to pay for that. So that's about internship. But my suggestion is don't bother too much about internship. Bother about the course. Bother about the skill building and the job point of view. Because gone are the days where certification and internship. That is, I see a lot of students put a lot of internships just for namesake. Right? Don't do that. take a course, learn in detail, then definitely you will be able to achieve your goal. Okay. Hope that's clear, Sri Lalita. Any other questions, guys, girls? Okay, yeah, thank you. All right. So thank you very much once again for joining today and asking so many questions. Really appreciate. As I told you, you are the best decision maker for your career. You're all very smart in your own way. I'm sure all of you will be doing a really good job there. Okay, again some more questions. Durational internship, as I said, free one is for about a month, and then the paid one is for about 4 months. So will there be a quick recap of course and studies in June, July month as my last semester in that month? So what I suggest is, Shaure, you complete your course. Every month end we'll be starting batches, right? I suggest you complete your engineering, then join. That way, you'll be able to get the benefit, because there will be academic, requirements. Right? Don't skip that. Then ek pair idhar, ek pair udhar, right? Don't do that. Okay. Finish and come, then you'll be able to focus well. When we can start applying for placement? Hanumesh, I think I already clarified. Once you complete the data structures module, you clear your placement eligibility test, you can start applying. That is after around 4th month. That's eligible. That is a starting point. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Wish you all the best. Right. So this video also will be recorded, and anyways, it's getting recorded. Our team will put it in the put it in the YouTube. Okay. Still one more question. As you mentioned, starting date for the course is 26th of this month. If we can join late for a week, so I suggest don't delay. But 3-4 days you can manage, but don't delay further, Keshava. Right? The more you delay, you will miss more practical sessions. Okay, I would put like that. Yuvaraj Krishna, can you please explain about placement eligibility test? Okay, so what happens is, once you complete the data structures module, right, we expect you to be of minimum certain level, right? That's why we put you through a test called, apart from the regular test, module test, weekly test, etc. Right? Our team will put you through a special test that is also based on C programming only. Right? So once you clear that, then we will enable you with placements. Right? There are some questions, sir. What if I don't clear? What if I fail? Right? Then we give you, another opportunity for you to retake the test, and then you start applying for placement. See, the idea of this, Yuvraj Krishna, the idea of placement eligibility test is to ensure that you're up to some level. Right? Just like that, going will not help, right? Clearing will help you, your skill level. In case if you're not meeting, wait for some time, prepare and then go. Right? That is the idea. That is the spirit in which the placement eligibility test is, not to stop you. In fact, I ask my students, right? Why will I stop any emergency student, right? Why will we stop? Our idea is to place maximum number of people, right? So that way, don't see it as a stopping stone. Rather, it is more of a re-verifying your this thing. Right? Vivek is asking, I'm graduating in 2024. How to fill this gap for placement? I think I already clarified, Vivek. Absolutely nothing to worry. Okay, companies don't care about these points, and that too not very late, right? Again, another year or so. We have placed students from, I think, 20 passed out who passed out in 2018 and all. Right? Absolutely nothing issue. Focus on your skill set. This thing will be taken care. Just forget it, Vivek. Right? Just focus on your skills. Do you start new batches for every month, Keshav? Yes, towards the end of every month, typically around 25th here and there, we start batches every month. Yeah. This whatever the dates I shared, that is for the month of February. So once they fill the seats, they will release the dates for the next month. And this webinar also we keep doing every month. I think last couple of months or so we couldn't do because it's a year end, and then we're also traveling. Anyways, our team has put from this month of February. Okay. All right. Great. So the questions are over. I know, as I say, the moment I'm saying thank you, more questions are coming up. Okay. Yeah. Sir, AI courses you suggest for EC students? See, Sri Lalita, this is a very broad topic. If I talk about this, it will take another 1 hour. Okay. This word AI is very broad and very buzzword everybody is talking about. Rather, I would put something very simple. AI is making life easier, making faster, right, which I already mentioned, but fundamentals don't change. Our course is a foundational course. Mubeen also mentioned, if you remember, in the top, the writing about foundations. Focus on that, jobs will come. AI will talk about it later. But if you're good in foundations, then only your AI will come in. Okay, don't confuse yourself now. What about PLC course? The PLC is a very specific vertical course, Saujanya. Ours is a horizontal course with which you will be able to fit into any vertical, whatever we discussed now, automotive, electronics, telecommunication, right? So that is our idea. We don't do anything vertical specific. Vertical specific you will learn when you join the company. That's where they'll top you up with that specific domain specific skill, and then you will start working on the project. One more question. Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir, coming in. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. Take care. Bye.